In this video, you're going to learn dividing fractions. So have you ever wondered why when we have a fraction divided by another fraction, we have to first of all switch the places of our denominator and move it to our numerator, and our numerator have to be brought down to the denominator. And then we have to change our division into multiplication. And it will look something like this. So you have 1 over 2 times 5 over 3. So I'm going to explain maybe from the start where you actually have two whole numbers divided by each other. So do you know what's the answer for this? Pretty straightforward, right? You have 4 divided by 2. But this can be also be represented by a fraction, as you have 4 that is on the numerator side and 2 at the denominator side as well. So then you have 4 divided by 2, and this gives you 2 as a whole number. Now, what if we were to have our fraction divided by a whole number? So if we were to do the same thing as what we've done in the previous example, where we have our numerator to be at the top. So now it is 1 over 4 as our numerator. And then our denominator is 2. And we place the 2 over at the denominator. So the question is that, how do we make the denominator into 1? Why do we do this? Because if we make the denominator into 1, then we can have an equation that we can, simplify and make the answer. So what we can do is that, how do we make 2 into 1? So the answer should be pretty straightforward. You have 2 divided by 2, or 2 times 1 out of 2, or half. So 2 times half equals to 1. Since we multiply the denominator by half, that means we need to multiply the numerator as well by half. And this will give us 1 out of 4 multiplied by 1 out of 2. And this is divided by 1. Since 2 times half is equal to 1. And since our denominator is 1, then we can place it as just a one line equation over here. So now you could see that in this example over here, we actually have switched the places. So 2 as a whole number, it becomes 1.5. And then 1 out of 4 remains the same. And then we change our division to multiplication. And it's once we have this, then the next part is we have to just multiply. So if 1 over 4 times 1 out of 2, and this will just give 1 out of 8. Since the denominator is multiplied, so 4 times 2 will be 8. That's what you see over here. And now lastly, we're going to have another example where we have a fraction divided by another fraction. And it goes the same way. So we have 1 out of 4 as our numerator, and we place it over here. And then we divide it by our denominator, which is 1 out of 2. And we just place it below, as what you see over here. And then the question goes, how do we make this denominator into 1? So if you guessed it, you multiply, but you multiply by 2. So you have half times 2. Like the earlier example where 2 times half will get into 1. But this time we multiply by 2 since we want to get the denominator into a 1. Now, since we multiply the times 2 into the denominator, we also times 2 to our numerator as well. And this will give us 1 out of 4 times 2 out of 1. So the 2 whole number is also represented as 2 out of 1, as what you see over here. And then our denominator is 1 out of 2 times 2. And this is where we will just make it into 1, because this is 1.5 times 2. And then we can simplify it to be 1 out of 4 times 2 out of 1. So you can actually, simplify the 4 to 2, but you can also do this as well, where you multiply the numerator and denominators, and this will give you 2 out of 4, and this will give us 1 out of 2 since we simplify it. And that is an easy win. And now you know how to divide fractions with fractions. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you want more of this kind of video, subscribe down below and comment down what are the topics you want me to go through next. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.